Let me take you back to a little bit to Jeff's question. Do you honestly think that the Lagos tenancy law can be faithfully enforced? Do you think it's practicable for us to insist and ensure that no landlord contravenes the law? For us to insist that the landlord cannot take more than 1 year's rent. Do you honestly think? That's one. Then, as an addendum, you have the Lagos homes.
Yes.
What we hear is not me saying it, sir. What we hear is that the acquisition module is no longer transparent. And I want to ask you, would you consider going back to what it used to be, like raffle draw and the rest of this? Yes.
Well, thank you, Jide. I think the first question, the way that our federating structure is set, it will be difficult to 100% comply. And what do I mean? So we set up a law. The beauty of any law is to ensure that there are consequences and you can enforce that law fully. There are consequences and you can enforce it. So if you don't have institutions or verticals or ability to enforce those laws fully, then you begin to see people not obeying the law fully. And that's why the conversation will tilt around a request for state police, for example. Right? If that, which I hear that we're considering very seriously, if that comes to bear, and I have a city like this, and I know that for me to be able to have a city that I'll be proud of, I need to have 50,000 policemen in different forms, being able to go and ensure that our laws are fully implemented in whatever form, right? Then it becomes a priority for me to deliver on that basis, right? But once I don't have the instrument or the ability to enforce some of these things, then it becomes, a lot of challenge, So the answer to it is that that's why all of the things around ensuring that we have, the ability as subnationals to be able to take this thing to a logical conclusion in terms of policing, in terms of enforcement, it will stay. Because the moment somebody knows that they can't even come until, they will not even show up, then, there's always a likelihood that they'll get out. But once you make a few people escapes and examples and the rest, then everybody will sit up and sit right, and ensure that the right thing is done. So the answer is we could get there. We could get there if all of these things, change in the course of time. Because I know that, one of the greatest things that help development, in nation is rule of law. I'm not a lawyer, but I know too well that once people can respect and obey and understand that there are consequences for action, then people will think twice. Why do you think that, in big nations and first countries that we all, talk about and look forward to? It's because, it's almost, certain that if you flout a law or something, there's a high consequence that you get picked up and you will come after it. Then you will correct yourself, So on the second part around, the Lagos home, I have also heard, and I think it's a shame because I was in a government when we set up, all of these ideas, and I will take it up. I will not come here and say that, it's all 100% and that, no, it has not been, a big challenge. And these are some of the problems, of our system, that to ensure that once policies are working, you don't need to change it. You don't have to begin to want to tinker with it. I know that we usually do like a transparent, you meet some criteria, then there's a transparent, lottery process that throws you up. So the general manager maybe needs another job, because it's also a call, to reflect, but we'll take it up. And thank you for those observations. Thank you.
Okay, Mr. Governor, permit me, because Jide took you through that route, so I would like to just find out what's your take on state policing?
Well, I mean, like I said, I'm an advocate for it. I believe we needed it like yesterday. And so the interesting thing there is we have what we call the Neighborhood Watch. Ruben were together at the Security Trust Fund, board, and we both served, diligently, and I imagine honorably on that board, Dr. Abati. Thank you very much for your service at that time. But that Neighborhood Watch is still functional, and we're happy. About 6,000 of them. The good news is that I've given approval for us to recruit additional 4,000, 4,000 to 5,000 actually. I've given them approval to employ, and this is job for our youth, this is job for our able-bodied men, and so out of that number, we'll give some to CBD, we'll give some to Kai, but a significant chunk of it will be in our neighborhood. And what that means for me is that if they give approval for state police today, I have 10,000 men that I can further train and get them ready, and these are people that know the entire community. They are people that knows, every nook and cranny. In fact, at some of our state security meetings, they give us intel. They give us all of the black spots, all of the things that are happening. They provide those intelligence for us. But it's just that they don't have, the constitutional means to arm. But they can give us, what is happening in all communities and regular police now. So you can imagine if that is now turned around to be a proper law enforcement, with all of the apparatus of state organ, they will hit the ground running. And we can, on our own, have a plan to double that number, and to take it to a number that will make policing effective and efficient for a big city, of our size. So yes, I'm strongly for it, and I'm waiting for it.
Well, Governor, at some point in the course of this conversation,